Hello everyone, my name is Jordan Reynolds. First off, I would like to say thank you for the board members and the stakeholders of the State of Washington Department of Licensing for being here today, who is of course my audience. I work in the Notary Public and the Uniform Commercial Code programs, where I absolutely love being a part of the team that we have. The topic of the presentation is to collaborate with our current external partner, Deloitte, that created Polaris, a website that we use in our business professional division. Thanks for taking the time and listening to my presentation. The Department of Licensing, also known as DOL, is not just the DMV where you get a driver's license or your ID card. It is so much more than that. Their purpose statement is helping every Washington resident live, work, drive, and thrive, all while bringing equal access to every person, to anyone that wants the access to the services of DOL. When you bring together a state that has many opportunities, you're able to give so much more. This department reminds me a lot about what I learned in my readings throughout my graduate program. At Patagonia, the bottom line includes the earth. This is where they use guayuli, a plant that is pretty much replacing the rubber in a bio-rubber, that is replacing the rubber for wetsuits into a bio-rubber for wetsuits. Sorry, couldn't get that out. DOL is also a state government where they take anything and turn it into something more sustainable, which is why I use that reference. It may not seem like it in the beginning due to the bumps that we have along the road with Polaris, although it definitely turns out great in the long end. The department truly cares about the people living in Washington State and what happens to them. And the two programs I work for, the first being the Uniform Commercial Code, is where anyone who has a lien or a debt, they file this through our program. Pretty much a big filing cabinet, since we technically also we report to the federal government, but we are funded by the state government, since that's how we kind of work. So essentially an example would be if I had a debt and someone wanted to state that whenever Jordan would come into any money, essentially I would have to pay that, but it also goes in your credit score. Excuse me. Then finally, the main point of the presentation is with the Notary Public program. Since November 4th of 2019, there was a new system launched called Polaris, or Salesforce, by Deloitte in partnership with DOL. There have been more bumps than what we have wanted within the program, which I think we could all definitely agree upon. Although the Notary program has general applications, which is where our new customers, apply to be a notary. And then we also have just our renewals, where they're just renewing for their license up to 4 years. There was no real reason as to why this push happened, other than our old system Venture. It was very one-dimensional, and the new system, Polaris, is very three-dimensional, and it has a lot more opportunities for our customers, as well as there was more money in the budget at that time. So I'm pretty sure that's why that push really happened. They haven't released that yet, since we're only about 3 months into the project. So then we have some challenges, of course, just like anything else. Some challenges that the program has seen is the amount of time it takes to process general applications and even renewal applications. The whole process in the older system used to be less than a minute for our renewal applications, and for general applications it used to be less than 5 minutes. So that's a significant difference. Even though this doesn't seem as if it is a lot, it is. The reasoning behind this is due to the project manager not gauging how many workarounds there were and how many there would be in the future, even still, as the amount of that was going into for the program. So we also have the Uniform Commercial Code program and the Notary Public program. The biggest challenge is that we only have 4 people. And so UCC, which is Uniform Commercial Code, by law, we have to turn that work over within 48 hours. So that has more of a precedent when it comes to notaries. And that's just because it's by law, we have to get it out. There's no other way of getting around that. And with notaries, there's no exact law, although we don't want our Washingtonians to be hurt from that. So I started with the company actually only 2 days after the program launched on November 4th. And due to my learning skills, I was able to pick up the system very quickly, although one of my coworkers is still struggling, and even some of our coworkers too are helping out. They're still struggling with the system, even when we're using different approaches to help teach them it. So it does take some time, and that's not something that we currently have just because of the backlog that we are working with. So I know that was a lot of information and challenges that we do have. Although once the system is fully functioning and we are all caught up with our backlog, the system will just skyrocket and ensure that our project will be so much easier. The capabilities that the customer currently has are even greater than what they used to have. Before, almost all of the correspondence was done by paper, other than a few attachments through email and a couple of questions through some email, and of course by phone. But there's not much you can do by phone other than answering questions. And then we also have our customers. They can now apply online, they can renew online, they can generate their license if they need it right away online, so that just automatically prints it out. And since we no longer send out the licenses via paper, that also ensures less paper waste along that as well. And then online is more efficient, and it ensures that the documents are being sent in a system that's not tamper evident, or that is tamper evident, excuse me, of way of, and this just ensures that the collaboration with Deloitte is even better. So being able to work with Deloitte, they are able to teach us the new system, and if there are any technical errors in the future, which of course there will be, they'll be available for the next 5 years. So why Deloitte? Why did you all choose to work with Deloitte when there were other competitors who were cheaper and better? Essentially, Deloitte really knew how to pitch. They knew how to pitch their product, they knew how to work with people, but overall their customer service is and was extraordinary, excuse me. So their purpose statement is, in a word, our purpose is to matter to our clients, our people, our communities, and through them to the world at large. It's a big, bold goal to state, but it's oh so rewarding to accomplish. Even though there seems to be some rocky times with the company due to the amount of technical errors we're running into, they also come at it with ease and help us understand why this is happening with Polaris. The opportunity of working with Deloitte was looked down upon from the tenured employees at the Department of Licensing. Although being the new employee and not being as cultured with the processes and ways that we do things, I'm able to have a different approach to the idea and bring that different approach to the table and help them understand why this is something that's good for the future. So the way that we can learn from this organization is the amount of knowledge they have with starting up this new website for our organization. There are a lot of technical errors along the way, although when we are able to systematically take what they know and apply it to what we know is outstanding. We and them as in Deloitte. This creates the generation of new solutions. If something wasn't coded correctly or if it could have been better, this is where this sort of innovation happens. There's sadly no structure due to the size of our program, but it is impacting over hundreds of our customers. We ensure that we have weekly meetings and information sessions to make sure everyone is on the same page. They are also desk-side support when watching us process applications. And finally, once this program is completely finished, up and running, the future state will be even more sustainable and will work even better than our old system. So the burning problem, or really two problems, are money and time. The collaboration with Deloitte on Polaris will lower the amount of money we are spending on overtime and wasted hours that we're trying to fix technical errors when we don't even know how to. And it'll also save our customers money. When you have a notary who's not renewed in time, we're impacting our Washingtonians and the people they serve. This could be their sole income, or it could be even be how they earn some extra cash. Of course, the first one is the sole income. That's who we're really trying to ensure gets their renewals on time and even more. But of course, the future state, we want to ensure that everything is done on time. And that way we're not impacting our Washingtonians. So the next one is finally, time. No one really has the time when you're answering 800 plus emails, listening to 200 plus voicemails, trying to answer the phones and process applications all at once. And this is a daily thing that we try and accomplish every day. The emails are a little bit, they're about 200 to 300 a day, which is why it never seems to go down. Once we've responded to 200 to 300, we still get 200 to 300 back. Then the next thing is there's only 4 people, and 2 of them are dedicated to the Uniform Commercial Code, as you know. So by collaborating with Deloitte, they'll be able to equip us with the tools and knowledge necessary in order to serve our customers better with Polaris. So what exactly is the point of collaboration with Polaris? With Deloitte with Polaris. This collaboration adds value because it enhances the livelihood of our Washingtonians, and it helps the environment even in the smallest bit. Even though pushing ourselves in a more energy efficient way, we of course still have the possibility of turning it around on us. Due to everything being online, we won't have a paper trail in the system if it shuts down or if it gets hacked. But thankfully, we have worked with Deloitte on that, and precautions are being made along the way and ensuring that our security systems are up. In the future state of Polaris, we are also able to lower the processing times with effort and communication. We'll be able to ensure that we keep the number of customers we have, along with adding new ones along the way because of the new ease of the system. Then we will also be able to save on the amount of paper we waste. We receive about 150 applications a day, sometimes even 200. And each application could be up to 10 pages. So meaning we're wasting about 1,500 pieces of paper a day. May not seem like a lot, but if you times that by the amount of days you work, and it's just more paper that you could potentially save with just moving everything online. Even though, of course, we are still accepting paper applications, it's just a better ease of the system. And then, whereas only they're also able to upload and pay everything from the ease of their chair, since everything is online as well. This is my reference page. And thank you for watching my presentation on the collaboration with Deloitte on Polaris, where in the next 5 years we'll be able to ensure a more sustainable approach with the Department of Licensing and Deloitte. Bye.